Welcome back. We are just 9 days away from Matt and Kay tying the knot live on our show. They won Twin Cities Live's Trend Wedding presented by our friends, The Wedding Guys.
Since December, you have voted on all the elements for the big day. So last week, we looked at 3 options for wedding bands. Oakdale-based Jewelry by Johan makes unique rings incorporating wood, deer antler, and even meteorite into their pieces.
Get this. There was only a 10-vote difference between the winner and the runner-up. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner
was
the meteorite ring. How about that? That was option number 3 last week.
Yeah, those are really beautiful. They're going to have those rings for the rest of their lives. Hopefully no one drops one in a lake, but you know. Another way Matt and Kay can look back on their big day is through their photos, and you get to select now the style of photography.
Tim Butler is the founder of Studio 220 Photography, and he is here with 3 totally different styles. Tim, it's good to meet you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
This is really cool because you're going to show us just the options, and then you guys will get to vote on which one that we go with. So style number 1 is this artistic style. So talk to us about that. What are we kind of hoping to capture when we're going with this style?
Yeah, artistic's interesting. It's one of those styles for a lot of clients or a lot of brides. You know it when you see it, but you have trouble articulating really what it is. But think about this like photographers that are sort of pushing the boundaries a little bit, experimenting with light, experimenting with creative composition. I like to describe it a little bit sort of like something you might find in a magazine advertisement or advertorial. So really fun, really creative. You're looking for those, I call them money shots. So, you know, those money shots, those ones that you put on the wall in a frame.
Is the trend going that way? Are you seeing more photographers adopting this artistic approach?
I think we're seeing, I'd say it's pretty balanced. The other 2 we're going to go through, one of them that we'll talk about third is probably the most common. But artistic is, it's near the front.
This, I think, is so cool because it is a little bit less obvious if you want to display the photos in your home, where instead of just like the staged posed photo of the 2 of you, you can tend to have more photos of like the elements that were around you and kind of feeling like that moment. Now, I think that's cool. That's great.
From artistic, we move to classic. We hear the term classic. We think we know what that looks like, but tell us what a bride and groom might expect.
Yeah, so I think some people may liken that to more the traditional type of photography. It's really about sound fundamentals, composition, light, doing things the right way. It's very safe. Oftentimes it's a little more posed. If your parents got married before the 80s and they're participating in the evaluation of photographers with you, you might find that they're naturally drawn to this style a little more than, say, the artistic style.
And still, I mean, very, very beautiful stuff, but these are just style differences.
It's timeless, though. I mean, if you look at the classic style 50 years from now, if you're happy with it today, you're probably going to be happy with it in 50 years.
Yeah, these are beautiful. Oh, it's just so fun to see this. Okay, the last one is this photojournalist style. So this is the one that you say is probably the most common these days?
I think so.
Okay, what's going on with this?
And it's my favorite. So the thing I love about this style, and I shouldn't oversell it, because I want the audience.
Listen, we've tried to sway them before. They do their own thing.
I'm not trying to sway anyone, but this style is really about letting the day unfold naturally. So the photographers sort of blend into the background. It's not very posed. It's not very structured. Think editorial style, right? We're storytelling. So the day begins, the day ends. The photographers capture it naturally. And I think people feel more comfortable and look their best when they're more natural. They don't even necessarily know that you're taking the picture.
It's definitely the story that you tell. Like, I remember at our wedding having our photographer out and about and then getting pictures back that I didn't, there were moments that she captured that I never knew happened because I couldn't be in the whole place at one time. And that makes it so fun to look back on. So it's important to understand sort of the photographer is just going to be kind of motoring around, doing their thing, and you're not probably going to have as much interaction with them.
Just because you can't see them doesn't mean they can't see you.
Timmy!
Isn't that just a good life lesson in general?
Sure is.
Yeah.
All right, hey, and talk to us quickly, too, about Studio 220. You work with a whole lot of photographers.
Yeah, we do. We have a pretty good-sized staff of lead photographers and assistant photographers. We have, I believe, 14 lead photographers on staff right now that shoot weddings with us, and then a number of assistants, and you know.
Oh my gosh, and you're doing all sorts of things.
Yeah, so we're a lifestyle photography studio. We go beyond weddings are kind of our primary focus, but we do a lot of portraits and really anything that has to do with people or people-centered events. we're going to be able to do.
That is really, really cool. Okay, I do want to ask you, how often are people getting like family photos taken? Are you seeing people who do it every year? And
Typically.
they just make it a priority, and they budget it that they're going to have a professional photographer do every year.
Yeah, it's pretty common. We actually weren't initially in portraits at all. We just did weddings, but it was clients coming back saying, "Hey, can you do our family photos?"
Did our wedding,
and then they come back every year, and so yeah, it's pretty common to see once a year.
I know, and then what happens, you know, your kid grows, they don't look like they did a year ago, and you look up at the picture on the wall and say, well, that's not my family. We need to update that. By the way, Tim's got a great gig here, too, because you're not out there at these weddings. You run the business, and you get to organize all of these, so you're the backbone of this operation.
Yeah, you're letting my secret out. I'm not a photographer by trade, but I play one on TV.
There he is, doing great.
Full transparency, right? So the reason that we started this, my wife and I, so she is a photographer. It's not like there's someone completely ignorant at the helm of this thing. So she's a very talented photographer, and she's really been responsible for talent, quality, style, all those things. What we noticed, though, when we started the studio almost 10 years ago, that there wasn't a lot of photographers really focused on the client experience. And so, this is not a knock on photographers. They're creative, and they get really focused on equipment and style and editing software and things like that, which is all important. But what happens sometimes then is that what falls on the back burner is, what about the first phone call? What about the response time? What about being available during business hours?
And so
we said, you know, wouldn't it be great if we had someone like me, a consumer, driving and collaborating the sort of the direction of the business with someone that was talented on the photography side. And so we did that. So we really focus on creating exceptional experiences for our clients that exceed expectations, and we've been delivering so far.
Well, we know you're going to do that for Matt and Kay. This is really cool. Thank you so much, Tim. So Studio 220 is running an exclusive deal for TCLers as well. Get 20% off of their 60-minute anything session, which you can do in their Minneapolis studio or in Loring Park. You can mention TCL on their website to save. You'll need to make a deposit by March 30th, and your session can be scheduled for any time in 2018. You can learn more about that on TwinCitiesLive.com.
And now it's time for you to vote on the photography style that Matt and Kay will have to reflect on their big day. Head to TwinCitiesLive.com and select option 1, that's the artistic, option 2, classic, or option 3, photojournalist.
You will have until next Tuesday night to pick your favorite, and we will announce the winner next Wednesday.
Big thanks to the Wedding Guys for producing our Trend Wedding and sponsoring Twin Cities Live. Hey, if you know someone who's engaged, make sure that they know about the Wedding Guys Unveiled event. This is taking place Sunday, March 4th at the Minneapolis Convention Center. It's described as a day of bridal eye candy and features over 130 vendors. You can get 50% off tickets online using promo code TCL. Learn more on TwinCitiesLive.com.
Okay.